Jessica was 15 when her life broke apart. Her father died suddenly, and after the funeral, her stepmother, Agatha, changed. Agatha told Jessica to leave the house. She took everything, money, clothes, and even the house that once belonged to Jessica's father. Jessica was left on the street with nothing while Mercy, her stepmother's daughter, enjoyed life. Life was hard. Jessica did many small jobs to survive. She cleaned houses, washed dishes, and worked long hours for little pay. Some nights she slept hungry. She learned how to endure pain and keep going. By the time she turned 25, she had a steady job as a bartender at a quiet club. At the bar, Jessica noticed a man who came often. He was handsome and calm. He never came alone. Security guards always walked beside him. He wore expensive clothes and spoke very little. Jessica watched him from behind the counter and wondered what it felt like to live without fear of money. She wished she did not have to struggle every day. One night, after a late shift, Jessica walked home alone. The street was quiet until she heard a gunshot. Her heart raced. She hid behind a wall and waited. After a long time, she stepped out and continued walking. Near the corner, she saw someone on the ground. It was the man from the bar. He was bleeding badly. Jessica reached for her phone, but the man stopped her. He told her not to call anyone. She did not know why, but she listened. With great effort, she took him to her small room. Using what little first aid she knew, she cleaned the wound and stopped the bleeding. Early in the morning, she left to get more supplies for the man's wound, but when she got back, the man was gone, the bed empty. Jessica was left shaking and confused. Days passed. The man never returned to the bar. Jessica feared he had died. Then one evening, after work, she saw him outside her building. He leaned against a black car, waiting. He looked alive and strong. He smiled and introduced himself as Frederick. He handed her a flower and thanked her for saving his life. He told her to ask for anything in return. Jessica said she wanted nothing. After that, strange things began to happen. Frederick sent her gifts. He appeared often, watching from a distance. If anyone at the bar treated Jessica badly, they were suddenly fired or arrested. She realized Frederick was protecting her. One day, she received a box with a dress and a note. Inside was a dinner invitation. Jessica accepted. At dinner, she finally asked him why he was always in her life, why he sent gifts, and interfered in her problems. Frederick looked at her and told her the truth. He said he had feelings for her and could not forget the girl who saved him when no one else would. Jessica listened quietly. When he finished, she told him she needed time. She said she would think about it. A few days later, Jessica decided to attend her father's death anniversary. For the first time in 10 years, she decided to go back home. She bought flowers with the little money she had and took a long ride to the place she once called home. When she arrived, her heart sank. The graveyard was gone. The place where her father was buried no longer existed. In its place stood a small tea house. Jessica stood there, frozen. Her hands shook as she held the flowers. She walked around, hoping she was mistaken, hoping she had the wrong spot. But she knew she did not. Her father's grave was gone. Anger burned inside her. She walked straight to the house. Before she could make it inside, Agatha and Mercy walked out of the house. Jessica demanded to know what they had done. She asked where her father's grave was. Mercy answered in a bored tone. She said she needed an outdoor space to receive guests, so she built a tea house. She said the grave was in the way, so she had it removed. Jessica could not breathe. Her chest felt tight. Rage filled her entire body. Agatha told Jessica to crawl back to whatever hellhole she came from. She said Jessica was no longer wanted and should never return. Jessica left without saying another word. The flowers fell from her hands onto the ground. On her way back, something inside her changed. The pain and anger grew inside her. She thought about Frederick. She thought about his power, his reach, and how easily he made problems disappear. She went to see him. When Frederick opened the door, he was surprised. Jessica looked calm, but her eyes were cold. She told him she had thought about his confession. She said she accepted his proposal. Frederick smiled, relief clear on his face. He promised to protect her and give her everything she deserved. Jessica smiled back. But deep inside, she knew the truth. This was not about love alone. This was about justice. And she was finally done being powerless. Jessica asked Frederick if his offer still stood, the one where she could ask for anything. Frederick looked at her and said yes. He told her he would do anything for her. Jessica took a deep breath. She told him she wanted revenge on Agatha and Mercy. She wanted to take back everything they had stolen from her. Frederick listened carefully and promised her he would make it happen. Frederick began to investigate Agatha and Mercy. He found out they had taken a large loan for Mercy's new logistics business. They used the house as collateral. If the business failed, they would lose everything. Frederick opened a logistics business of his own in the same area. With his influence and money, his business grew fast. Clients left Mercy's company and moved to his. Slowly, Frederick's business swallowed hers. Mercy could not pay the bank on time, and the house was taken from them. When the bank listed the house for sale, Frederick bought it under Jessica's name. He handed the papers to her without a word. Agatha and Mercy struggled to survive. Rent became hard to pay, and debts piled up. Desperate, Mercy decided to sell her business for a small price just to stay afloat. Frederick offered to buy it, and Mercy agreed. She begged him to let her continue working there. Frederick told her he was not the owner. When Mercy asked to meet the owner, Frederick gave her an address. It was the house that once belonged to her family. He said the owner lived there. Mercy was confused and rushed home to tell Agatha. The next day, they went together. When they got to the house, they sat down and waited for the owner, and when Jessica stepped out with Frederick, their eyes widened with shock. The house was hers. The business was hers. Agatha and Mercy fell to their knees. They begged Jessica not to throw them away the way they once threw her out. Jessica looked at them calmly. She told Mercy she did not need her in the company. She warned them never to come near the house again. If they did, they would be arrested. They were thrown out of the house. Later, Frederick proposed to Jessica. This time, her answer came easily. She said yes. Their wedding was grand and unforgettable. Afterward, Jessica placed trusted workers in charge of the house. She left the past behind and moved forward, choosing a new life with her husband, where pain no longer controlled her future.